Welcome to Creative Piecemeal. I'm Tammy Takaishi, a board-certified music therapist. Join me each week as a new guest from across the fine and creative arts spheres shares struggles, triumphs, laughs, words of wisdom, and more in authentic, thought-provoking, and inspiring interviews. Hello and welcome to Creative Piecemeal. I'm so excited to be joined by Kerstin Schulze. She's an actress, writer, director, as well as a fitness coach and consultant. She grew up in Germany and moved to Los Angeles after completing theater training and earning a degree in business, and her career took off quickly, landing national roles, billboard campaigns, and hosting modeling jobs with Telemundo. You can find out more about Kerstin not only on her IMDb page, but also on partyanddiet.com, where she talks about fitness for the busy lifestyle. I'd really love to dig into all the different sides of Kerstin, and I'm so excited to have you on the show today.
Well, hello, Tammy, and everybody's listening.
Hello. I'd love to just get started with how did you end up going into acting, and then, of course, later continuing acting, of course, and pivoting into the fitness world. I noticed that you're also a junior Olympian as well.
Yeah, that's a lot to me. My career in acting started in theater in Germany. I was 14, 15, and I started writing. Well, I was in a musical, and we had a theater group in school. And then that school program led to outside pieces. So we did plays that we were submitted to the arts of Germany, and we were traveling with it. And then my sister and I have an identical twin. We started writing sketches and improv. We were really that was our love. And then we did a show. We were on TV, and that was in Munich, outside of Munich. And then I came here, and before I always wanted to be an actress, but my mother always said that is not a secure profession, and I should get a secure profession. We all know how hard it is to be an actor and how shaky it can be. We're always in the waiting somewhere. And then, so I had got a business degree, and when I came to California, I started really through my fitness. I got into more acting commercially. And then I got classically trained, went to ACT, Berkeley, did a lot of programs, groundlings, and love comedy, did a lot of comedy, and also drama. And yeah, it's been a really good ride for me. I've had some great moments in my life and got to work with some amazing people.
And you've got some upcoming projects. You were recently in the Rightous Gemstones TV series.
Yeah. I'm solo on the Righteous Gemstone, the nanny, the Kung Fu nanny, opposite of Walton Goggins. And I think that I was in 5 episodes on that one. And the new one that's coming up is it's a Rachel Sennett project. And I have a small part in that one. And it's a pilot. I'm in the pilot, so we'll see how it goes, how the season go. And that's going to air next year. It's an HBO show as well.
I'm curious, how do you find a work-life balance being able, not only dabbling, but really diving deep into all of your passions and then also taking time for self-care?
It is definitely, you have to be good at time managing. I run a full-time fitness business. I have a health and wellness business, and I have around probably anywhere between 11 to 13 meetings a day. And but I do that Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I only do mornings for my fitness. My noon and afternoons is all for my acting and for my creative, as well as on Saturdays. And then, of course, if I'm filming, I'm my own boss. So it has really helped my career, that I don't have to ask somebody to take a day off. I can just go and maneuver around. And I'm mobile, so I have people online, and yes, I have people in person too, but really I have half of my clientele is online, so I can be anywhere. So if I'm on set and filming and I have a day in between, I can maneuver that around. So it's worked in my favor. It was a little harder when I had my kids, my 2 kids, and that's why my acting career really has only taken off in the last 10 years. because before then I did a little bit here and there, but my children were too young, and that was really hard to be able to commit to anything away from Los Angeles, and traveling was almost impossible. And so really, I really honed into my creative side in the last 10 years, and writing myself and producing, because I always feel like you have to write and produce to understand better what it means to create a role.
I'd love to talk a little bit more about your creative process, both when it comes to writing and acting, but also how you bring that into the fitness world.
Oh, good question. Yeah, we're always creating, even in the fitness world. I found some really amazing writers, writing coaches that have written with SNL, and wanted to always know how to write comedy and how to build a comedy, because it's just like a game, right? That we're building, and you're introducing the game, and then you're building the game, and then what's the out? So I learned all that, and with that, I decided to, especially when we had the writer's strike, I said, well, I'm just going to create my own stuff and stay busy. I always believe you have to stay in it to create more energy. I'm all about energy, and I feel like when you focus on that part, the universe just sends it to you. You're just surrounding yourself with it, and it's kind of like you're swimming in the pool of creativity, and it's just a matter of time for it to find you. Found agents, and I'm not a person that I always say you have to believe in yourself. Nobody will ever believe in you the way you believe in yourself. And that has really given me my drive and saying, I'm just going to do it. This is what I enjoy. And I trained for it, when I did nanny for the Rightous Gemstones, I was prepared for that role. I did all my kung fu's. I speak German. I was in a certain shape they do wanted. I did my training, my acting training. So when the time came to audition for the role, I was ready for it. I didn't not be in it. And that's what I mean with being in it. And I always seeked out mentors. I always seeked out people that are doing it and learning from them. And then from them connecting me to the next step that I wanted to do. So when I did a commercial with Tina Fey, and then I think I did two Super Bowl commercials in 1 year. And I meet people on set, and we talk, and then you meet other agents and other managers. And, sometimes when you're with an agent for 7 years and they don't put you first, or they don't even make time to meet with you, it's time to find somebody else that fights for you. You always know, you have to know who's in your corner, and if it doesn't work for you anymore, don't have hard feelings over it. It's time to move on and find somebody that will fight for you. And that's what happened for me. As soon as I moved to a different agency, I got presented with a different opportunity, and I jumped on it and I booked it. And the same I did with my fitness. When I was a junior Olympic athlete, and it was my escape of feeling happy. I always loved movements. I was a dancer, I was a sprinter, and I did heptathlon in Germany, in Berlin, and won the silver medal. And it was just a joy of mine to compete and to just to move my body. It's just something that I really enjoy. And then I came to the United States, Los Angeles, and Bobby Ball was my first agency, and it was because of my fitness is that I got on TV. But again, I stayed in it. I stayed focused. They call me also KS 365 because I'm in shape all year long. So whenever they call me, like Maroon 5, Adam Devine's Cam called me at night, a day before Christmas, and most people are not available, or they're not in shape around Christmas. We had too many cookies or whatever, and I had to be in a bikini in this music video. And so I was always known to be ready, always. And that's just how I live my life. I believe I have to be ready for whatever I want. You can ask for it how much you want, but if you're not ready for it, because preparation, opportunity creates success.
Very true, very true. Yeah, I've heard that phrase before, what you just said, and it really rings true, I think, across not just the creative fields, but across so many fields. You have to have the mindset, you have to be ready and willing, to to leap and not let fear get in the way. You know, you have to prepare, like you said.
Yeah, fear is that it will block your brain. It will take, get away from fear because a lot of times when we have fear in our brain, it's really just and the unknown that we don't know, and just jump in it. Amazing things happen. And a lot of times to 95%, the negative things that we tell ourselves are not true anyway.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, I just reached out because I've been really successful here, but I want to go back to Germany and I want to do a lot of acting there. So I've been not giving up. To have an agency in Germany, to start doing some acting there and to set it all in place, where most people would say, oh, that's way too big of a mountain to climb. And I'm like, nope, we're going to do this.
What's one of your favorite things about yourself, and why is it one of your favorite things?
I have no fear. I really don't. I just like, what's the worst that can happen? My father always taught me, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So you're already losing if you don't ask. But if you ask, and I have gotten so many great experiences from just asking, people really want to help and then follow through. People call me Miss Action. I take action. I don't just sit around. I don't wait for somebody to deliver something to me. I write it myself, I create it myself. I reach out to people who I can create with, or find somebody that can get me in front of somebody. And just I put in the work, and I put in the work when nobody's watching. I'm always working. And it's just my passion. I think when you live in your passion, it's not work. It's just your passion. Like people wanting to play an instrument. It's their passion. Nobody tells them to play an instrument. You probably know that, right? It's your passion.
Yeah, yeah, I would totally agree. Totally agree with that. I'd love to know what barriers that you dealt with on your rise to success, whether internal or external, that you feel comfortable sharing, that you were able to overcome.
Wow. Well, first, when I came to the United States, when I came to LA, I had the whole Me Too movement happened. I had experienced some negative men in the industry that when you are a female and an actor, they always think that they can sell you something, meaning, if you do this for me, then I'll get you promote your career. And it usually has to do with the sexual department. And I just wasn't willing to sell my soul. So that obstacle was definitely there, and it shied me away from acting for a minute. And I said, "Ooh, if that's what Hollywood is, I don't want it." But I feel like now, when I came back to it, I had a different view on it, a different maturity. I had different people around me. I think your community is really important when you start a career in the creatives, because it is a very tough road. What else? People want to put me in a box. I'm 6'1". They want to give me the same old roles, the tough girl, the intimidating girl, the really sexy role. So for me to not have to show my body and be here and be known for what comes out of my mouth, that was a challenge. And then on top of it, having an accent and learning to lose the accent, or what is enough. And when I first came here, people told me you need to lose your accent.
Hmm.
But now in the last 10 years, my accent is what people wanted. So it was kind of like stay true to yourself and make it work for you, and show them, because a lot of times they don't even know what they want. I mean, I've gone on roles for a smaller part, and because I was so authentic and being myself, they rewrote a script and gave me a bigger role. Like when I did The Killer Clown, that wasn't even meant for me. It was meant for a man, and then they rewrote it, and now I got to create this really sensitive human, and I just wanted to understand her psyche. Why is a killer clown a killer clown? And in the end, we just want to be loved. We want to be heard. We've been, abused too many times, and this person is just acting out of pain, And so the obstacles of being German in America, my accents, my height, my physicality, and getting away from that, and I'm still working on that, to be honest. It's gotten easier, and I've gotten more credible work, but it was hard in the beginning.
Hmm. Did it ever make you feel less than who you were, or question or wonder about your own authenticity?
Yeah, it took, I grew up very tough. And I was a child of domestic abuse and sexual abuse for until I was 23.
Mm.
And my therapist said from a abused child 1 to 10, I'm at 12. And I have had this wall of being tough all the time. So I know how to play the tough girl really well. The softer side in me is what I had to find.
Mm.
And the softer side, the vulnerable side, and that's what really the audience wants to see is the soft side. And that took work for me. And being in this creative space has really helped me to create a different view of who I am. Because before I was like, oh, I'm just this, I knew how to be sexy, I knew how to be the thing what man wanted, but not the in depth, the person that I wasn't the person that let people in. And I had to learn to do that on screen and off screen. I mean, really being a creative is like therapy.
Yeah. Yeah, in the creative arts in whatever way people interact with it, it really gets us in touch with like our inner child, our vulnerable side. It brings out things that we don't always know are going to come out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I highly recommend it if anybody ever done breath work or hasn't, do breath work. Breath work is amazing because we tense up and we hold so much in our body from, things that we experience in our life. And if it doesn't serve us, we need to get rid of it and make room.
Mhm. I was wondering, what's a book that you've read that had an impact on you, or several books?
Active Life by Andy Matheny had a big impact on me. She's one of those women that coaches that has really understood what it means to be natural on camera and to tap into that vulnerable side of yours and how to maneuver naturally while I'm talking with a pen, because we don't just talk and put the pen away. We just talk with the pen in my hand, for instance. So just to make it daily and to pay attention to your body. And then Larry Moss, and it's called The Intent to Live and Achieve Your True Potential as an Actor, is one of my I love this book, and I read it really slow because it's talking about how to break down your character, how to read a script, how to build the character from imagination. Because we always were told in acting, you got to come from an experience. And it's not always you have to come from an experience. You can actually come from an imagination. I was never a killer clown. I don't know what that means. So, but what I could bring in there is, well, what does it mean? Because I made her really OCD and I made her wanting to be loved and hugged. And I come from a place where, okay, I understand what it means not to be hugged. I don't know what it means to be OCD, but I have a sister that's OCD, so I could imagine what that is like. So I think that was a big one for me. And then the power of intent. I'm grounding yourself and then really manifesting. I'm all about manifesting and saying what I'm going to manifest for the year. And so far it has worked out for me.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm definitely personally big into manifesting myself, like vision boards and all of that, and really thinking about goals.
Yeah, because I feel like when you do that and you sort your mind of what you want to achieve, you focus on it, you work on it, and it's just that's when you're in that pool that I was talking about.
For the people who are listening regarding your fitness training and coaching and consulting, can you tell them more about that business, how that got started, and where they can find you and what they can expect?
Yeah, my business is called Party and Diet. And it's called Party and Diet because when I competed, because when I came first out here, I was like, okay, well, how am I gonna make a business out of fitness? I had to get on stage, win my competition, be in all the magazines, and then got the credibility. And quickly, I was known for always being in shape, but that didn't mean that I didn't party. That didn't mean that I don't have, I don't have a social life. I just learned how to have a social life and have your pizza, have your champagne or whatever you wanted and still be in shape. And so that's what I'm teaching in Party and Diet. It's really fitness for the busy lifestyle. I teach how you can do a workout in 5 minutes. And if you do that 7 days a week, you already making big transformations in your body. People always think you need an hour. And yeah, an hour is great if you have that time, but a lot of people don't have that privilege. So start with 5 minutes. How do you start with 5 minutes? How do you do 10 minutes? And it's very effective. I don't train, all of my clients, I only train them for half an hour. I never do more than half an hour. They don't need more than half an hour. And so I teach all of these things with Party and Diet. You can find it on partyanddiet.com. You can find me on my Instagram, Party and Diet. And it's all about fitness for the busy lifestyle. And I'm in menopause, so I teach a lot about menopause as well. How the transformation goes, how you can still be 12% body fat or 14% body fat while you're going through menopause. And a lot of times, we lose the energy, and how do we get that back? And why is muscle growth so important? And how do we eat through it? And all of that. And I get people ready in front of the camera and behind the camera. I've gotten people like Nicole Ari Parker ready for Cleopatra. Chris Hemsworth, when he first booked the role of Thor, he came to me and I gave him nutritional guidance. Robert Patrick, when he got Gangster Squad, I leaned him out. So I know how to get people ready with pressure on time, because usually they have 3 months to 6 months to get ready for a role. And then I teach people that have a busy career, that are either actors or moms or CEOs, and they just need to learn how to get an effective workout in a very quick and short time.
What's one of your personal favorite workout moves that you like to do?
Squat, hammer, and press. All three. When you do a squat, it's the best fat burner mobilization ever. You're going into with two dumbbells into a hammer, and then in a press over your head, you get every muscle in your body.
Is there one fitness tip that you find yourself giving to people over and over again?
Don't stop exercising when you have an injury. People stop exercising when an injury. And I think that's the biggest mistake, because we need to create blood flow to an injury to heal it faster. And when you don't move, you don't create blood flow to the injury. And then now you're going to build scar tissue. So if you have lower back issues, you can still work out. If you have shoulder issues, you can still work out. If you have knee issues, you can still work out. It's just how and what. And yes, you need to find somebody that is experienced, and I teach that as well, and how to maneuver. Don't stop. It's always harder to start a new routine than it is to stop. So don't stop, because once you get out of your rhythm, it's harder to get back on the horse, I call it. And so don't stop.
This is a two-part question. What's one of your favorite healthy foods? And then what's one of your favorite quote unquote unhealthy foods?
Oh boy, we're gonna be honest right now. My all-time favorite healthy food is cottage cheese. It's a casein protein. You can do a whole jar. It's 52 grams of protein, because people always say, I can't get enough protein in. Cottage cheese, by far, is a slow release protein. It's amazing for the night, right?
It's so
And
good.
oh, good. And my addiction, I have to say it's Diet Coke. I love when I go to the movies, I love a Diet Coke and some popcorn. And I know it's so bad for me, and I can feel it in my joints immediately, but I love it.
Everything in moderation, right?
Everything in moderation. And I mean champagne. I love, on my Sundays, I have a glass of champagne.
I do have a follow-up. What do you like to put on your cottage cheese, or do you prefer it plain?
I know I like berries on my cottage cheese, and then I put some cinnamon on top of it.
Ooh. I've never thought about cinnamon. I do berries, but I've never thought about cinnamon. I like that idea.
Yeah, and cinnamon is a fat burner, so it's really good for mobilizing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love cinnamon. I put it like in so many things, but I would have never thought about it with cottage cheese. I'm gonna try that next time.
Okay.
I'll let you know how I like it.
Okay.
So getting back a little bit just to, your life as a creative, what is something that you wish you knew when you first started?
Oh, don't listen to the naysayers. Go with your gut and I wish I would have gone. I mean, I'm really happy my mother told me to get a business degree. But in hindsight, I wish I would have gone to acting school. I wish I would have gone to a school in Germany and did what I wanted to do in the first place, because that's just what I did in the end, right? So I was trying to please somebody, and I feel like it should have been that I should have just stick with it and just done that first.
But it sounds like things have turned out
Oh yeah,
really
it worked
well,
out
though,
in the end. Yeah.
regardless.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not complaining. But if I'm nitpicking right now, I always thought about that. I said I wish I would have gone to acting school first.
I would love to know, what is one of your favorite comfort movies?
Train, planes, and automobiles.
Such a good one.
So good. I never fails laughing, especially when the car is on fire and then turn around and he's just laughing. Steve Martin's just laughing, and that laugh is just amazing. And I love Money Pit too, with Tom Hanks. Just when the bathtub goes through I don't know, there's something about a belly laugh that just gives me so much joy.
That's excellent. Yeah, those are some classics. I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one more question before I let you go. It's a little bit deeper, and feel free to take as much time as you need. But in your own words, what does living a creative life mean to you?
Expressing the unexpressible. I mean, to just deep down in your soul, expressing what other people have a hard time expressing.
Mm. That's beautiful.
I did not create that. My son did. We were on a photo shoot together and he was interviewed and he said that. And I said, oh my God, that is it. That is what is being a creative, is to just express what other people have a hard time expressing.
Mm. That is really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course, yeah. My pleasure. I'll
Yeah.
let him know. It's living on.
Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience before we go?
Take action. Don't let fear be in your way. Don't let fear be in your way. And it's never, ever too late. Ever, ever, ever. No matter what age you are. If you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, it's never too late. Live your passion. Tomorrow is not promised.
Excellent. So, so good. Kirsten, thank you so much for being on the show. It was wonderful to catch up with you, get to know you. Would love to have you back anytime, as always. Listeners, please check the show notes for more information. And of course, tune in to Kirsten at various streaming sites for her movies and TV shows. And as well, if you're interested, partyanddiet.com. I'll be sharing the links in the show notes. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Creative Piecemeal. We hope today's episode left you feeling inspired. This podcast is independently created and produced by the host, Tammy Takaishi. More details about today's guest can be found in the show notes, along with links to the podcast's socials, merch store, and ways to support arts organizations AHA Broadway and New Normal Rep, both near and dear to Tammy's heart. Don't forget to visit creativepiecemeal.com, the official podcast website, where you can leave fan mail, write a review, explore Tammy's blog, and discover the growing collection of episodes. Special thanks to our audio engineer, Alex Rapetti. Additional narration by Dante Jace. Let's keep celebrating creativity in all its forms.